1 weeks of holidays. No,歩き。じゃあ、歩き。じゃあ、でもありがとうね。 Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Yes. Okay, now that audio levels are... It's a bit windy today, a bit rainy today. And recently the mics have not been wanting to work, so I spent the last half hour trying to get those to work. Eventually I just had to factory reset the whole camera and oh, that's right. Let's try this one, actually. Hello Citrong, hello DC, hello Flirkin, hello Binny, hello Bit New Bito. Hello Blizzard Ice, sorry. I'm looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down. How's everyone today? Originally, we were supposed to leave about an hour ago, but like I said, I have been messing with these mics for a while. Like, I don't update the firmware very much, which again, I know is a me problem. But whenever I do update firmware, it kind of messes with Bellabox stuff sometimes. So then it's just this whole thing of like, you know, it works for a little bit and then it doesn't work at all, and then it's a whole thing. And anyway, here we are. Yeah, I was hoping today, and we still might, I was gonna roughly see how long it takes us to walk 16,000 steps today. And then tomorrow, when the weather is a bit better, see how long it takes us to take 32,000 steps and start to use that as a baseline. Obviously, we'll stop for food and breaks and stuff as needed, but start to just try and get a baseline out. Whew. We should probably cross here, actually. But I really don't want to walk 32,000 steps today. Like, it's supposed to be in and out of moderate, like light. Right now it's like sprinkling, drizzling. But it's supposed to be in and out of moderate rain, so it's kind of like, I don't want to, unless I have to spend all day out in the rain. But it's not too bad. I mean, it's if it keeps like this, we'll get a bunch of steps in. But we're gonna first go to Size, get some lunch, and then walk on. How's everyone doing though? What's everyone up to? Slowish Scene, thanks for the follow. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. It'd be a cool song. I have Talking Heads Air in my mind. I like Talking Heads. I think probably one of the songs, there's not a lot of songs that like get me in my feels, but Talking Heads, This Must Be the Place is probably top 3 songs to make me get in my feels. And I'm not even really sure why. The lyrics are pretty like happy, relatively happy lyrics, talking about being in love. I mean, I know why. It's pretty nostalgic to me. Reminds me of my college days. I actually found the track Of course I knew who Talking Heads were, Psycho Killer and all that stuff. But I found that specific track, This Must Be the Place, from a mixtape from DJ / electronic group Flight Facilities, which I believe are from Australia. They had a couple of really cool projects. So 37,000 feet. And actually I learned of Flight Facilities because of their song, they did a remix of a song by the C90s called Shine a Light, which was in Grand Theft Auto 5. And it was in the scene where Michael gets drugged by his son Jimmy, and he's like flying around and he's tripping balls. And anyway, so then I found that song. I was like, oh, pulled that string, went down that rabbit hole, and found 37,000 feet mixtape. And then I found they had a project. It was called the Decades Project, and they did this really cool thing where they took sound bites from like news or radio, like TV stations or radio stations, and cut them into, like they overlapped them with songs from that time period. So they had like a 70s decade, 80s decade, 90s decade, and most of the time they tried to keep it sequential. So like January 1970 release, March 1970 release, news from March 1970, you know, whatever it was. They tried to keep it as in order as possible. Sometimes I think around the 2000s they jumped around a little bit with the songs, but still a super, super cool project. Anyway, long story short, and they're 37,000 feet. This Must Be the Place is in that mixtape, in that mix. Okay, I imagine Size A is going to be full, so we might have to walk on to the next one, maybe. I don't know if the Nakameguro one, Nakameguro one's pretty big too, huh? You know, Postmodern Jukebox, I don't. Sounds fun though. Umbrella, Vintage Singing in the Rain. Style, Rihanna cover featuring Casey Abrams and the Soul Sisters. Also, I might get a haircut today. We might, I don't know. I'm trying to think of my look to be for. I was talking to Lyle a lot yesterday. We talked, like I said, for a couple hours, about hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and I was talking about like the sequencing of what I want to do. And I was like, well, you know, I kind of want to dive into the big trip, but I kind of want to talk about lore. And he goes, I think it makes sense to do a lore video. I'm like, okay. He said you can mention the trip and then go backwards, because that's what I was talking about. Like, hey, you might know me from walking across Japan, but how did we get here? How did Sensei Martian come to be? And okay, rain's picking up a little bit. Can I cross this street or no? I'm not running, but I will fast walk. If I remember correctly, it's about 25, from that Lawson to here, I think it's about 2,500 steps. Calves are slowly but surely coming back. I don't know if you guys can see that. Slowly but surely. Right leg's not so much, but we're getting there. Ah, Sasuga Saizeriya. It's 2 o'clock though, right? It's not even lunchtime. That's fine. We don't mind sitting here and because we can be here for 90 minutes. Yeah, that's a shitload of people. All right, we'll go write our name in and.
4名様か5名様のボックス席4人掛けのボックス席に詰めていただくとここに行ける感じです。もしそれできれば、普通に4名様先にご案内します。
来てないんだから。その席って6人座れる。
6は結構きついと思います。でも頑張ればいける。頑張ればいける。でもきついと思うので、ちょっと5がギリギリかなみたいな。
ああ、3人入る。3人で入る。先に3人入りないと。なんて華やかな女子会。あ、向かうわって来た。あ、来た。誰が来た？じゃあ女子のとこに男子2人を取り込んで。
I go do groceries. Hey, what's up, Bob? I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, we're covered up. We're waiting. Saize is quite busy, as always, but. Ah, すいません. They had one big party of 9, so. Go ahead and just put this back on, actually. The guide dog. You almost never see guide dogs. Actual trained guide dog. Do something on the inside of the hat for us to look at. You know, I think I might change one of the scenes. Hi, onegaishimasu. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. What's up, JP? Thank you very much for coming in. Yeah, I've been thinking about how to do that. Like having a hat scene and it's got a video playing underneath it. Cool. All right. Hopefully it's the same for you. Yeah, thanks for coming in, JP. Really appreciate it. Always good to see you. Bob, let I know. Thanks for being here. Taking care of chores around the house. Yeah, I need to do some of that as well when I get back. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Pasta related pun? No. Puns are fine. You got timed out because of the highly embarrassing YOLO reference. Actually, I didn't even time you out. That was Taran, but I still shudder when I had done a really good job of blocking that out of my brain. So good. I completely disassociated from it. I had repressed it entirely. I deserved it. That's okay. Like I said, we love Mom, but that was maybe the... It's only for 1 second. Yeah. All right. Let the pasta be the pasta. We can probably do that. All right, I'm gonna get a drink. And we'll be back. CJP, thanks for coming in. Did I walk any last time? Yeah, I think it's almost time for a haircut and a beard cut. Or a haircut and a mustache cut. Arctic Wolf, thank you very, very much for the 19 months. Or we like shave the day that we leave. Unfortunately, this restaurant has terrible lighting. So it's like a beam straight down. So it really makes the bags look bigger than they actually are. My schedule is all messed up, but I got a bunch of sleep last night. I woke up at like 8 feeling really like rested and relaxed, and I was like, I should go outside and stream. Then I start like getting stuff ready, and I open the door and it's like dumping rain. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. So then I'm like, I don't want to go outside the dumping rain. Itadakimasu. Could we ask for a different work? That's right. They have a whole, they have 2 whole things of them, but it doesn't bother me. I need to polish it up a little bit, need it. Because it definitely got ran through a washing machine, but some of the stuff, some of the very light stuff doesn't always get blasted off. I don't mind. I wish I could stay, but I'm sleepy. I just want to do my sub thing in high. Hope you have a good rest of the days. Thank you very much, Arctic Wolf. I appreciate that. Sorry, I started so late. Like I mentioned it right when I got on. We were having mic issues, and so I spent a good minimum half hour, closer to probably 45 minutes, trying to fix stuff and like turning stuff on, turning stuff off, and then there's just a whole thing. So this upcoming week, I'm trying to, if the weather's good, I would like to be trying to get like close to 30,000 steps a day. 32, for being actually honest, but If I can hit like 27, 28 on stream, 30 on stream for sure, and then I'd get the other 2,000 somewhere, but Konnichiwa Sensei. What's up, Burbanks? Brooklyn. We went this way because I also have to go to the Daiso. Get some ear cleaners, cotton swabs. I've been digging into my backpack, like backpack stash. Go to Daiso. Maybe we go walking and come back to Daiso and head back home. $16,000 steps is probably about 11, 12 kilometers. Probably some change. Any specific direction in mind? Depends if I want to get a haircut or not. There's a QB house that's about 4 kilometers away. Changing hairstyles in this stream. I don't like the bowl cut look that I've got going on. I want to look cooler.
Eu não gosto, mas é bem nesse estilo.
What's up, Liz? I don't know if I want the Breaking Bad one.
Eu lembro que o pessoal falava que Sherlock Holmes, aí no antes existe uma série de livros, assim, umas editoras lá de livros. Aí eu comprei lá um livro do Sherlock Holmes, porque meus amigos compraram. Nossa, que livro Tá gostando da muito mais difícil assim, tá legal? É maior o livro?
What did I end up getting for lunch? So at Saize, it's always a chicken salad, and then I get the Italian hamburger, and recently I've been getting focaccia. Bit skewed toward the protein? No. I've been eating all of the lettuce. I saved the best for last. No. I've been munching. I haven't eaten a single piece of chicken yet. Lettuce. Hi, Mr. Sensei. How have you been? What's up, Ayo? I've been alright. Doing well. How about yourself? Glad you're hanging in there. I hope things get easier. Hi.
お待たせいたしました。
ありがとうございます。
失礼いたします。失礼いたします。はい、自分が思ってたことをちょっと
So it's gonna show any connection. I think we always do. Ones with the sweetness scores on the label. I'll have to go find them. Might be a local thing too, but we've run into some really good, especially the little cherry tomatoes. We've run into some really good ones before. Chicken tastes a bit funny today. I have this little grape tomato plant in my backyard that had a nice yield last year. That's one thing I wish, if I ever buy a space and have a little bit of yard, I would love to grow, not tomatoes, but probably peppers or probably peppers. I'd like a flower garden too, but that's too much upkeep for, at least until, you know, the first couple years until you get them to bloom. Arigatou gozaimasu. I'll buy my eco bag. I'll be able to go grocery shopping. Produce something edible, pay off for the time and effort put in. You know, I respect that sentiment. That's how my, well, I don't know. I think some things are, I don't know, the beauty is fleeting type of thing, but well, that's what I'm saying. Flower plants are much more particular about the conditions. Certain soil, certain watering schedules, certain amount of sunlight. And like in Oklahoma, It'll be fine. You'll plant stuff in like March, late February, whatever. And then a random freeze in like April will just kill all your plants. Cool. I guess you try again next year. Succulent? Yeah. Mom would grow elephant ears. Pastas? Those are relatively low maintenance as well. And she'd always say, look at them, they're so pretty. Look how big they're. I'm like, they're just a big leaf, Mom. And then I'm the same guy who like fawned over rice fields. It's just rice, Jason. Doesn't matter. Ooh, I have a predicament too. So website is live. Website is live. And before the students that came over from my previous company, I'm giving them like a pretty steep discount. And originally I quoted a guy 12,000 yen a month, like a month and a half ago. And he's like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. So 13,200 after the 10% sales tax. But I just, like last week I was like, hey, I think it's gonna be 13,000 because I'd forgotten the amount. I was like, was it 12, was it 13? And I was like, I'll just say 13. And then, so that'd be a total of 14,300. So it's an extra like, it's literally like an extra $8 a month. And he's like asking me, not even $8 probably. Well, I guess right now it's probably about $8. So it's an extra $8 a month. And he sent me a message. He's like, hey, I thought it was 12,000, not 13,000. Can you confirm with me? Granted, all my other students are paying, I don't know, 13, 15, 20,000, depending on what. So I'm kind of like, I did say it, so I'll probably honor it for a certain time period. Like this year, I'll say, okay, I'll do 12,000 for the rest of this year. But part of me is also like, if you peep the website, you're getting like a 70% discount already. So, you know. It's a big raid. Ray-chan, Yahoo. Thanks for coming in. Hello, what are you eating? Saizeria. I'm eating garlic focaccia and Italian hamburger setto. Check it out. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much, Ray-chan. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for being here. Saizeria desu ka? Hai, so. Saizeria desu yo. Did we get a shout out for Ray-chan? Oh, I'm gonna check real quick. I think we did. Looks good. What's up, Orson? Welcome in. If you're new here, my name is Sensei Martian. I walk around Japan. Last year I walked across, or I guess vertical, Judan, Nihon Judan, Odan Shimashita. From Kagoshima to Hokkaido. And we're actually, in May, we're going to do another walk. We're going to walk around Shikoku.お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。うん。そうそうそう、佐多岬から宗谷岬まで歩きました。 Thank you. What were we doing today at Ria-chan's chat? Ria-chan's stream. It's raining today in Tokyo, so if you're Tokyo based, I imagine probably inside. We're gonna go get some steps in here in a second. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Cooking chicken. Nice. Sometimes I cook at home on stream. My kitchen's a bit small. The angles are quite limited, but I try my best. Not yet. I was gonna do that today, Citrong. I was gonna start publishing stuff today. From the Tokaido trip. The problem with the VODs channel, each song that is copywritten, you have options to like go through and delete the song, but doing so takes like I've been working on one video all of yesterday, and you'd click the video, you'd take action, and then to remove the song from it, it takes forever. Like, it's so ridiculously long. So I think I'm just probably gonna, instead of removing the song, I'm just gonna tell YouTube to clip that segment completely. So it's gonna be like, there's gonna be parts missing, but it's gonna speed up. I don't know. It's very annoying right now. It's super annoying, actually. Because it takes like, it's like it's reformatting the entire video, minus that 2-minute section for each song or whatever. But it's a 9-hour, 10-hour video, so you're just like, possible to mute that portion. It is, you can trim it out, you can mute the song, but even muting the song causes it to like what's it called, re-render. So I think you can completely cut that section out, or you can do, so I mean like, it's just taking a really long time to deal with that, so. But I think the goal for today, Wai-Chan got onto me because I haven't finished posting all of the ones from my trip on my main account. She said, why haven't you done that yet? And I was like, well, I just haven't, because I have to like rewatch them, type out stuff. Unpaid intern. It'd be nice to be able to pay someone to help me, but I mean, I pay Wai-Chan, but we'd be adding all of the VODs, even the ones from home. That's the goal. The goal is I'm going to post, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the Tokaido VODs up right now, and then I'm going to schedule out the trip VODs. Or I might dump. The problem is I want it to, I kind of want to highlight the trip VODs because that's kind of the cooler portions. Also, most of those have less copyright, so it's easier to work through those. 何食べてますか？ I am eating サイゼリア。アリサモチさん、ようこそ。サイゼリアのイタリアンハンバーグとガーリックフォカッチャ。Here, I'm gonna get more drink. 飲み物おかわり。お、美味しそう。It is so 美味しい。Somehow I got sauce on my hat. Forever stained with us, chat. Oh well. Cool, yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't do a Japanese introduction. I totally forgot about that. Sometimes I forget. Some of the Japanese streamers don't have, like some of the Japanese streamers only use English. Some of the Japanese streamers use Japanese and English. So I guess I'll do my Jiko. Yeah, so ようこそ、先生マーシュンです。多分9年間ぐらい日本住んでる、ずっと東京住んでる。多分2年前配信始まりました。大体は IRL とか相談とかでも時々ゲームしてます。去年日本横断しました、歩きで。今年2つ旅、2つ予定ある。四国の一周と、北海道から鹿児島まで自転車登りたい。自転車したい。Anyway, ありがとうね。Thanks for coming in. Hey, what's up, Boybit? Welcome in. Double ad notice. Seribot must be broken. You know what's crazy, chat? I never had a fried egg before I came to Japan. And probably, if I had to guess, it was probably here. What you munching on? We're having the remains of Italian hamburger with fried egg with some cheese. We ate the potatoes and the corn already. And then over here we have focaccia. We had a chicken salad earlier, but we finished that all. Does you prefer scrambled? Mom pretty much only cooks scrambled, so we only ever got scrambled at home. Mom is not a fried egg fan. In fact, when she came over and we had a fried egg at Kizuna-san or Kizuna Guest House, she barely struggled to choke it down. Typically, so we had a can, if you're from the South, well, I don't know if it's a Southern thing, but you have a can of, it's like 9, yeah. Well, early on in the trip, I was able to kind of bully her into saying, we're guests here, please eat all your food. But toward the end, she said, I paid for it, I don't care. Which, I see both sides of that argument, but no, so when I was a kid, anytime that there was leftover oil, because you can't put oil in your plumbing or it's going to ruin it at some point. You might get away with it for a little while, but one day, you will have huge problems because you put oil down your sink. So, a lot of people in the South, whenever they use, fried stuff in the pan, you would have like a vegetable can, and you would scoop the oil, put it in there, and it would harden. And it was pretty much like a form of lard. And then whenever you cooked stuff, especially like bacon or steaks or anything like that, you just put the oil in there. And then whenever you cook other things that you want to use as lard, for example, eggs, or you're making sausage gravy or something like that, you just get a scoop of that, put it in there and cook it. No fried eggs as American? I never did. And then because I only had scrambled eggs at home, whenever I went to like Denny's or IHOP or whatever, it was always like, oh, I'll just take scrambled eggs. Bacon, that egg in? Yeah, usually it's like that. Usually it was like that. We'd cook the bacon first and then the egg in. But if you had leftover bacon grease from like the day before, the night before, whatever, please be my hair. It looks about the length of my hair. We're gonna say it was my hair. At Thai restaurants, yeah. Yeah, it's because it's a lot of oil and they plop it in there when it's like already super hot. All right, time for the grand finale. It's been fun. I don't know if he's here. How 2 p.m.? He might not be up yet. My older brother's been streaming, which is kind of fun. He's doing very different content than me, but what happens when it's time to eat them? I think that's kind of a I don't want to say healthy thing, but if I was in the financial situation to have like a house kind of outside town and have some chickens and stuff, I would definitely like that. I think again, like, I don't like relying on, you know, farmed foods or like mass farmed foods. And I'm not saying, like, obviously I'm eating exactly that, but if I had the choice to like raise my own, because even like buying the range-free chicken eggs or whatever and stuff like that, that's not really a thing over here in Japan. So if anything is labeled as that, it's like prohibitively expensive, and I'm still removed from the process. Oh, you are here. Cool. Awesome. Primary processor streaming a lot of default settings are wonky. Yep. 100%. But it's been fun. It's been fun to, you know, I was kind of, you were on my second screen last night before I went to bed. Tax season, yeah. I need to message my guy. I need to pay the Japanese guy, and then I need to message the US guy. You have two accountants? I do. For the time being. Can I get paid by Twitch in any currency you choose? No. Twitch, I get paid in yen. Donations come through as dollars, if that's what people are donating in. But Twitch pays me in yen. I have a Japanese accountant, I have a US-based accountant. US-based accountant only costs me $130 a year for him to file my US stuff. I pay American tax rates? No. I just have to file paperwork in America. I don't pay any, as of right now, I don't pay any tax in America. I just have to file paperwork. Because my my gross income is under $120,000, it's not even close. But as long as my gross income is under $120,000, then I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about taxes. Now, if I had like sufficient like investments, or if I had like real estate or something like that, some things would change a little bit. But I don't have significant investments or real estate in the U.S., so I don't have to worry about it. And even then, let's say, for example, I become the next Chris Broad. I believe whenever I get above 120,000, I only pay the difference. I don't pay I don't pay both. Unless you really fucked up your tax situation, you should never pay both if you live in Japan and the US. The only time you might consider doing that is if you're trying to go back to the US and you want your foreign earned, because there's two things foreign earned income prevents you from doing as a US citizen. One, you cannot engage in mutual funds and IRAs. Those are technically like US income based things, and you're not supposed to, you can still do ETFs and stuff, but as far as real mutual funds, Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs, can't do with foreign earned income. Traditionally, if you're using the foreign earned income exclusion credit. Secondly, Social Security payments. So if you do the foreign earned income exclusion thing, like my payments to the Japanese tax government do not reflect on US Social Security. So if I ever go back to US Social Security, I'm gonna be missing like even if I go back next year, for whatever reason, I'll have like 10 years missing from my Social Security. So it's gonna fuck that all up. There are ways to get like caught up on that, but I don't see myself retiring in the US, so I don't really see myself, I mean, if I do retire, we're talking like I've sold everything and I'm living in a hut in the mountains somewhere. Social Security will be gone by the time we retire anyway. Yeah, I'm prepping for Mad Max situation when I'm in my 50s. I'm somewhat joking, but I don't know. $50, what is that, 20 years? Maybe when I'm 60. So that's an unfortunate thing. Like, I'll be too old to like really like defend myself by the time all the shit goes down. Water wars and Fury Road. Mad Martian. You actually starting to a documentary at this point? It's something. Anyway, that's why I'm somewhat interested in like getting my, like I want to have, I'm not worried about like just stacking up infinite cash, but I want to enjoy what I do. Think you ever do dual citizenship? You can't. Japan doesn't allow dual citizenship. As of right now, I don't think that'll change either. They're pretty, the powers that be are pretty against it. And if they do allow it, it's going to be, if they do allow it, I can guarantee it's going to be for half Japanese, like I wouldn't be able to have dual citizenship. But if I had a child with a Japanese person, that child would be able to get, like I can see them eventually allowing it under incredibly specific circumstances. For the elite, no. For the part Japanese, that's it. I think when we're like at Furry Road, only bronies will save you. Hey, one of my best friends is a scaly, or I mean, he's not really a scaly, but even married in? Yeah, no, you can't. You have to give up your citizenship. Like if I wanted to become a citizen of Japan, I have to give up my US passport. And despite Japan's, faults and its strong points, like the pros and cons of Japan, I really enjoy being here, but like, and despite America being whatever the fuck is going on over there, I don't feel comfortable giving up my US passport, despite all the stuff that's going on over there. Because having walked the country and having, I would say a pretty, I don't want to sound boastful at this moment, but having a pretty good understanding of what like Japan really is like, I still wouldn't feel comfortable giving up my passport to become Japanese. Can I get kicked out of Japan? Sure. If I did something illegal, or if I don't pay my taxes, or if I mean, but I would have to be, like, honestly speaking, at this point, I'd have to do something pretty stupid. I mean, I've got 9 years of impeccable tax payments, tax filings. I guess 8 years. 8 years of tax filings, but if I didn't have half kids living in Japan, I would not seriously consider retirement / end of life phase in Japan. I don't know. I'm pretty content here. I think I'll be walking around until I'm dead. I'm pretty happy. I even if I don't have kids here, I think I'll probably be here for a while. But I don't know how long I'll live either. Hey, what's up, True Angel Blade? I am. I met Waffle Smacker at the New Year party. Waffle Smacker's a good dude. Yeah, I rated Waffle Smacker. Normally I walk around Tokyo or around Japan and stuff, but I've had the good fortune to know a group of older gents down in Kanagawa. I've seen a few of them enter hospice here, etc. I mean, it's the reality is, you know, if I don't have kids, where else would I go by that point? Like, if I'm here until retirement age, I'm here for another 30 years. And then where do I go when I'm in my 60s? I go to Thailand, I go to Vietnam, I go back to the States where it's, you know, 10 times the price. I'm not sure. That's okay, Bob. I understand. Something big planned for 10 years in Japan. If I get my PR, out of everything. Thanks for coming in, True Angel Blade. Of everything about Japan. Yeah, we're pretty good. I like to keep things honest. You know, a lot of people really romanticize Japan, and that's great. But I also like to let people know how it really is. I travel around a lot. I would give up U.S. citizenship if it got me to Japan permanently. That's not really how it works, though, unfortunately. Because again, even if you have that passport, the only thing having a Japanese passport does, if you are, you know, outside, even if you have a Japanese passport, if you don't look Japanese, you will still be discriminated against. And the only thing that having a Japanese passport allows you to do is take stronger legal action. But the reality is like, do you want to spend X amount of money pursuing legal action against a guy who doesn't want to rent to you, and then you get to rent from a racist guy anyway? I mean, it's also too, if I did travel somewhere and I got captured or whatever, for whatever purpose, Japanese government's gonna do jack shit to get me back. US government might send people. Texan Empire, the Coastal Costco Consortium. I don't know. I don't know how long I'll live. I can get hit by a truck on my next walk. Who knows? You get isekai'd into another world. No, it's, again, like I said, despite everything that's going on in the U.S., and despite this, whatever's been going on the last 10 years, giving up U.S. citizenship is not a light. It's not something, I mean, and, you know, we can say, oh, we hate Donald Trump, or we hate this guy, we hate this guy. It's way different. U.S. taxes give almost nothing now. I made over 50K, and they said I still owed 1K. Taxes are based on, I mean, a lot of people think tax rebates are, tax refunds means you overpaid. And if you owe taxes, it means you didn't pay enough. I think the moment where tourists are causing a lot of problems there, it's quite a well, and ironically, it's one reason I started streaming. But a lot of content creators who come here that are not based here end up doing some really stupid stuff. So I wanted to provide an alternative from just isekai to all of us. Same thing happens in Japan though. I mean, like, taxes are going to go up here, tariffs are going to fuck Japan over. A lot of us, I mean, salaries haven't increased in Japan overall, like, relative to cost of living since the bubble in the 80s. What's the plan for the Shikoku walk? Tentatively, it's either fly into Matsuyama or fly into Tokushima and then do a full loop. We're not going to do like the full perimeter. We were looking at the coverage map, and there's a few of the peninsulas on the southwest side that just have like no signal. And then when we looked at the map, there's no no convenies, no supermarkets, no anything like that for like a pretty good chunk of air. Went to my B-Day 2 years back. I went to Osaka and lived every moment of it. Osaka's pretty good. The thing that like Osaka and Tokyo, I think specifically, handle it a little bit better because there's so many places to, like, they were designed for people. But like Kyoto was not designed for people originally. You have a date in mind for the Shikoku trip? I would like to leave sometime in May, early May. I don't have an exact date set because I need to talk to Wai-chan, and I was talking to Lyle about this, and I was talking to a couple other people, like, I need to drum up support for this trip because I haven't done that for either of my previous trips. Make like a little Instagram short or something like, or YouTube short or whatever, say, hey, Sensei Martian walks again, you know. But ideally we're done, because there's two reasons I want to do it in May. End of May, we might be getting busy with work, with Takai-san's work. And then also rainy season starts in Shikoku around the first week of June. So if we can finish that up, then it would be really ideal. I'm gonna go to the countryside of Japan and live there. Hopefully I can make friends there. Making friends is hard in Japan. It's hard, but it's possible. It's just, you have to, it's both like an it's a compatibility thing combined with, like, a lot of older people in the countryside, like, don't, like, they might want friends, but like taking that initiative is not something. And then two, like, if you come on too strong, they'll be like, oh, this is weird, and it's a whole, like, it's a whole thing. I got very lucky when I did my walk because I was such a weirdo doing such a crazy thing that, like, people wanted to talk to me and people wanted to, like, stay in contact, but it can be difficult. It can be difficult. I'm not saying you shouldn't try. You should definitely try. You should definitely go do stuff, but even in big cities, it's difficult for other reasons, because in Tokyo, for example, people are just so busy all the time. And even if it's not real busyness, it's like, I call it tatemai busy, like fake busy, but even fake busy is still kind of busy, so. Went to Kyoto for the first time last summer. I really feel sorry for the locals. Those tourists are the most selfish people I've ever encountered en masse, yeah. Yeah, and I'm very shy. I would not be able to make friends most likely. Well, that's the thing too, though, is like, I see a lot of, I don't get on Reddit very often, but a lot of people are like, oh, it's so hard to make friends in Japan. And then the comments will be like, well, what do you do in your free time? They're like, oh, well, I like go to the hub, or I go to like local bars and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's not how you make, I mean, you can make friends that way, don't get me wrong. But if you want to actually make friends, like, you need to develop hobbies and then make friends based on those hobbies. You know, if you're into rock climbing, go to a rock climbing gym. Don't go to the hub looking for people to rock climb. Go to a rock climbing gym. Start learning some Japanese and stuff. What I've seen, it seems that locals always appreciate the fact one can speak a good amount of Japanese or fluent. Yes, speaking it helps, but there's a difference between, like, and a lot of Japan feels like this. A lot of Japan feels like this, where they're very happy to talk with you and they appreciate it. But you visiting and you living here are different things. What's up, Sailor Venus? Trying to be a game designer, that might make it easier. Game designer jobs are going to be in big cities, but again, like, making friends, like, if you want to do that, make friends in the game development area, make friends in even the gaming community, like, make friends, and this goes, even if it's not, even if it's not cross-cultural. Like if I was in America and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to the fucking TGI Fridays every Friday and trying to make friends there, you're gonna make drinking friends, which I've said this before too, like the depth of a friendship depends on like the depth of connection there. So like if you do shallow activities, and we're not gonna, whatever, you know, if you do relatively shallow activities, you're gonna have relatively shallow friends. If you do deeper activities or more like intense activities, you're gonna have deeper friendships. That's my personal opinion. You're not gonna change it, but that's my observations on things. So I think a lot of the rural folks appreciate that you took the beaten path. That I went off, yes, exactly. That's one thing that really worked for me too, is like where I was going, I intentionally went so far away from like normal Japan that like they're like, what are you doing here? And then when I'm like, oh, I'm walking, they're like, why are you walking? And then you explain it, and then they go, you're kind of crazy, but we like that. Here's my card. If you need a place to stay, let me know. Also, a lot of people, it's kind of funny because in Japan, like, it's somewhat of an insult if you're like talking, like if you have a girlfriend and you're a girlfriend's friend, there's a joke that like, if you're not good looking, they'll say, ah, yasashi so, you look kind. And so on my trip, a lot of people called me kind. They say, oh, you have a kind face. So that's when I was like, oh, I'm ugly. Because that's the joke. The joke is if you're not cool looking, you're kind looking. Places that you win, I don't think I've ever seen one streamer or YouTuber even go those routes. No, I would say I'm the first. Even there's another guy who walked, but he took like a mainstream route. And again, shout out to that guy. He's mad respect. He was putting in some monster days, but I intentionally wanted to go where nobody goes, even Japanese people. Like when I talk to people and I'm like, oh yeah, I went to Hagi, and they're like, where's Hagi? And I was like, it's in Yamaguchi. And they go, oh, well, I've never been to Yamaguchi. But thank you, Ichida man. I really appreciate that. That's what I'm hoping for Shikoku as well. The north side is pretty populated, but the southern side is pretty sparse. So I'm pretty excited for checking that out. Drinking isn't a way to make friends, in my opinion. Non-drinker drink buddies aren't friends. They're people that unload their stress. I slightly disagree with you, True Angel Blade. I do agree that I think a lot of people do end up unloading stress, but there is something about spending sufficient amounts of time with somebody and bonding over, even if it's unloading stress, you can develop real friendship. Now again, you have to take it outside of the drinking realm. You have to go do something, bowling or whatever it is that you want to do. But I think that using that as a start is maybe okay. But if that's the only thing you do, you will have, drinking is a great way to make drinking friends only, yes. Well, that's one thing I was very fortunate about, and that's why like I'm trying to like with Lyle, I got super lucky that he wanted to do a walk, and so we ended up being like we talk, like we're good friends. Like we talk like every other day probably. We FaceTime once a month for an hour or two at a time. But that's because we did like it wasn't like super difficult. 20 kilometers a day is not crazy. But it was difficult enough, spending time enough, talking about life after you were exhausted. It was enough of those things that it allowed a deeper connection. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. I'm back later, guys. Okay, thanks, Spectator Sport. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then we're gonna walk around a bit.
It's not something that everybody everybody can feel settled in to do, you know, and whether it's 1 in 10 can do this successfully, 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, I don't know the number, but I don't think it's all that high. So if you're sort of making these videos to sort of, hey, you know, anybody out there, you too, you can, you know, live your dream and come here to Japan and do this, I'm not sure.
It's not. I'm not painting coming to Japan as a dream. It's more finding out what your dream is and then going for that. Obviously, because the same thing. I've been struggling with this recently. This idea of walking across Japan, and is it stupid? You know, because when I tell people, they go, "Why? Why do you want to walk across Japan?" And I go, "Well, this idea of I've lived in this country for so long, and partially because of COVID, but I've only seen fractions of portions of it, and so no, I agree with you, and I think it also depends on mindset of when people come to, I mean, anything really. What is the main reason for it? And so while I initially ran away to come here, I realized very quickly that because of my youth adapting and, okay, working at this job and doing this thing and doing this thing, I think a lot of people who don't make it in Japan, it could be a language-based thing, or, you know, it's troublesome to go to the city office, but I think at the end of the day that there's a lot of, I mean, Japan is very context-based, and I think a lot of people don't take the time to learn the kuki, the atmosphere as much as, that's one thing. I came here with no Japanese, but you know, I've started following, and, you know, even if I don't speak the language, I speak sorry face, or I speak angry, you know, like it's when I make a mistake and you sit and you go, you know, and
Look, I think what you're saying is you've got to be the kind of person who you've got to roll with stuff. You know, if
you
you're
have to be
always
adaptable.
when things don't work exactly as you expect them to do, if you're going to get cheesed off about it, or you're going to feel these are all microaggressions and stuff, if you're that kind of person, then no, this is not the country for you.
Yeah.
But if you're flexible and can roll with stuff, and we'll try that again and see how it works next time.
yeah.
But it's not just Japan; it's any person living in a society that was different.
This
from
is
his own
one thing
society.
one thing I want to talk to you as well, because obviously you really pushed when you came to Japan and you started teaching, and then you were trying to balance both, and then you realized no, I just want to do woodblocks. But before, or I mean, not just, but your focus was woodblock printing. But even in Canada, you were what I would say a successful business person, or a successful person in the realm of business, of working and things like that.
Well, I was an employee, but yeah. Okay.
But you were good at it. You got
I had a
promotions
career. I had a career. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that, even though when I was younger, doing backstage work, you do a good job, you get called back again. You do a good job enough times, you get promotions. Or it's not necessarily promotions, but they teach you how to do lights. They teach you how to do videos. And I think, for me, learning more stuff meant more jobs. More jobs meant stability. And so, same thing when I came to Japan is, okay, it's not more stuff equals more jobs, but it's having the adaptability, or having the, oh, this thing happened. Can I change it? Can I not change it? And just simplifying it to two choices allowed me to kind of fit in, because it is. I go there and they say, well, this is how it is. And I go, why? And they go, that's how it is. Instead of getting mad about it or complaining about it, I say, okay, all right, here's my honko, boom. And then go, like, just accepting I can't change everything. I can hit my head against this wall, but it's not going to change the wall, you know. Yeah. But whenever you first came, because you came in the 80s.
I visited a couple of times, 3 months in the late 70s and 3 months again in 1981. Then went back to think about life and stuff like that. Had the Japan dream, still had a steady career. And then at some point I was, you know, the thing we all do, it's not midlife crisis, but it's, you know, that thing, Dave, you've been thinking about this for years and years and years, it's time to, you know, poop or get off the pot, you know, whatever.
And
so,
that's one thing. When in your video you also talk about, you know, whenever you, I believe it was when you kind of,
セルスのね、見てるんですよね。
When is he going to teach me what?
それ年寄りたちはもう分かんないよね。学校で何やってるのって言われてもさっぱり分かんない。でも小学校は小学校でめっちゃ教材来るじゃん。本当に？ドリルみたいな。教科書も来るし、ね、
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get some steps in, eh, chat? Ooh, that reminds me, we need to order a new hat. Like today. Because the other hat would get destroyed in a 30-day walk. Maddie, Manitoba, and Red Mecamaru. Oh, crap. Thank you for the follows. Let's get some steps in. Actually, I really need to go to Yabba Dabba Doo. What's up, Joel? Oh, see you. All right. Okay. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. It's funny, I just had last week, I had someone from Weatherford, or Weatherford High School at least, come visit Japan. We got ramen. It's kind of weird. It's like, it's always fun to see people like come to Japan, and then, you know, I haven't seen her in like a decade, so it's like everything has changed and then nothing has changed. I met her and her husband, but it's kind of interesting to see. Like, I'm excited for more people to eventually come visit one day. Some people will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We're gonna walk through the mall, so we don't have to deal with any amount of rain. I saw that. Yeah, it's cool. I also got a couple of Facebook friend requests from that, and I was like, I have not spoken to these people in more than 15 years. I don't know. Facebook's a weird one because like I get people want to stay in touch, but I also rarely check the thing. So then it's like I don't want to. If I add people on Facebook and then I have to see their posts, and then it's like, okay, well then I can mute their posts. But if having to mute their posts, why did I accept it in the first place? It's a whole thing. Because if I don't want to look at your posts, then I don't want to be Facebook friends. And there's only so many memes of Jesus riding, or I mean, Mr. Trump and Jesus riding dinosaurs, saying that this is what God wanted, that I can see before I just have to like turn it all off. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, he's kidding. There's definitely pictures of Jesus and Donald Trump riding Tyrannosaurus Rex. I wish I made that up. I wish I was that creative. That's a real thing. I keep fully packing this up, remembering I just need to use it a minute later. Oh dang, Santa Claus is on vacation. Rip, missed our chance. I could have jogged across. Oh shit. All right, oh, they're going. Nope, no, we'll turn back. I hesitated. Shouldn't have hesitated. All right, we're gonna go to the Daiso and get some cotton swabs, I think. We're at least going to check the price. Or not the price. We know the price is going to be about 100 yen. Check the quantity per price. Nice. Love DMCA music. It's not a headache at all to like deal with when you upload. Love it. Zero barriers. That's a joke, obviously. Is that /S? Sarcasm. I was hoping to stay outside longer, but this rain is just enough. Picked up just enough that it's troublesome. All right. Point this dude down. Memo. Dang, they're pretty strict. Can't even take memos. Should just brought a full-size umbrella instead of having to. There we go. Put this umbrella condom on. I got both my hands like super wet trying to do that. Active shoes, eh? This song. Speaking of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, we're gonna look at a sketchbook. We're gonna look at this is quite large. 5, 6, 7, 8, 18, 19. It's probably 20. 20 here. Maybe these have 30, 32, 20. What about this one? 20. They all have 20. Oh, this one has 70 sheets. Quality of paper is a bit thinner than I want, though. I guess we just get 2 of these, eh? These are 100 yen. Thick drawing paper. 12. I guess I could cut these in half, eh? I get 20 sheets and cut it in half. Or I just get 2 of these. This has the thicker paper that I want. 20. And then let's do colored pencils. We don't want pastels. We don't want ink either. I guess we do ink. Have a permanence to it. Order some ink. Actually, let's check this out real quick. Silver, gold, black, brown, light blue, blue, yellow, green, green, yellow, orange, pink, red. What about this color set? Does this have more of an apricot color? And I think I have some pencils at home. Some actual pencils. This is like a large 24. This might be better actually. We might do this. We might do 2 of these. We get a little bit more paper. It's a little bit smaller, but it's already pre-cut. Because this one, if we ever wanted to send them out, we'd have to cut these out, right? I guess here what we can do is this. Get 1 of each and see which one we like more, eh? Okay. We did not come here for drawing stuff though. We came here for Q-tips. Q-tips. Of course, on the busiest aisle. Huh? Am I just missing it completely? I swear I bought Q-tips at this exact store before. Ah, here we are. Nice. Spiral. I don't know if we like the spiral. We just want the normal one, don't we? $180. Yeah, I think we have. I think I have a container, so we can just get these. I should buy a container actually. Cool. All right. Okay. Let's use a big bill. Hi, 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 hi.
ご利用ありがとうございました。
Okie dokie. Let's get out of here. trying to think if there's anything else important that I needed. We got those drawing materials because I would like to sketch for 32 days in a row. Let's quickly speed run and see if they have a Dr. Pepper or not. Every time I step on these stairs, I feel like they're gonna break. Lettuce is $2.13 per head. That's not bad. Nice. Mm.
商品をスキャンしてください。115円。してください。124円です。お支払い方法をお選びください。音が鳴るまでタッチしてください。カードをお取りください。カードをお取りください。レシートをお取りください。
あ、俺持ってます。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
Okay. All right. All right, back out in the rain. How's everyone doing? What's everyone up to? Everyone doing all right? See if I can get a picture of this for the old gram. Then we'll probably start heading home. We might, I don't know if we'll sketch on stream, or if that'll be an off stream thing. Because I don't have a proper camera to do like a down facing. I don't know if I have a camera set up to do like a good sketch drawing stream. Eating pizza and playing games. What kind of pizza? What kind of games? You still doing gacha stuff, or you moved on to a different, temporarily moved on to a different game? Cat cuddle sounds nice. Sounds warm. Like I said, the rain is starting to pick up again. It's kind of doing this whenever we entered, but I was hoping by the time we left it would have subsided a little bit. Pepperoni pizza while playing Genshin, nice. Like I said, as I got older, I realized pepperoni is much better than I gave it credit for as a kid. As a kid, Mom was always like, if you're gonna get pizza, make sure you get like, you know, the 4 meat or the chicken bacon Alfredo, whatever. I mean, like just loading it up. But there's something really nice about like a simple, even like a simple cheese pizza sometimes. We're not even talking about the quattro formaggi or anything like that. Even just a basic cheese pizza sometimes is pretty nice. Time to cross? I'm about time to cross. We got time. I was hoping to shoot a video today, but with this level of rain, I don't think we're going to be able to get anything done. I guess what I can do is go home and make sure all the YouTube stuff is going well. Because the final backup day for all that is April 19th, next week. Next Saturday. So we need to make sure everything is correctly backed up. Honestly, we should probably do that today. Like finish doing most of it, double checking that all the days are okay, not too much copywritten stuff, and then start scheduling out releases. Yeah, our feet are wet. I also need to get some new shoes before the big trip. Mushrooms. That's an interesting one. Shrimp or mushrooms? I get that though. That's a good, yeah, I can trick myself into thinking that pizza is healthy. Pizza has been struggling, so they offered some amazing deals earlier this year. When I visited my older brother in Abu Dhabi, they had some crazy good meals. Link is a first chat message, huh? I'm preoccupied, but I think, I don't know. I guess I need to make it where links are not automatically allowed by non-subs, maybe, I don't know. But there are a few non-subs that offer good, good advice through links sometimes. So I don't want to make that a rule, but I might have to make that a rule. All right, so tentative plan, if tomorrow's weather's fine, we'll try to wake up kind of early and get some steps in. We're gonna try to maybe set a pace day for this week, this upcoming week. Try to go out for at least 30K steps a couple times this week, check pacing on each of them. Because the pack won't be too terribly, well, I say that. Pack shouldn't be too much heavier than this. I don't know. And we'll see. We shall see. Do you do much videos on grabbing items and teaching how to read them? What do you mean, like grabbing stuff from the convenience and saying this is how you read it? I don't do that. Give him the Boot Fruits message and sketchy link. Thank you very much, Tarn. My wife bought this Baskin Robbins with peanut butter. It's surprisingly good. I saw a peanut butter flavored one the other day, but it also had too many like peanuts. Peanuts are good. Peanut butter ice cream is good, but a lot of peanuts in a peanut butter ice cream I don't like so much. Like I like my ice cream relatively like easy to eat. I don't like too many kinds of nuts in my ice cream. Better if you see a sign or anything. I mean, I don't necessarily make videos about it, but I will explain things whenever I see something interesting pop up. Especially like on our trip, we saw a lot of like the kanji for kohi, and that's not very common. At least not like in Tokyo traditionally, unless you go to like older parts of town. So I would make a point of that, you know, kohi, kohi-kan, whatever. But as far as just grabbing random things all the time, if it's like daily stuff, usually not. But if I see things and I'm like, oh yeah, that's this thing. Like this, for example, over there, Nakamura Ishimura. Nakamura is a name. Ishimura means like, Ishi means rock, Mura means village. So that means that that guy makes rock stuff. And you can kind of see there's like a off-brand, there's a Mickey at Home over there. And so they make rock stuff. So I mean, we'll do stuff like that, but I don't make like, or like whenever we talk about things, sometimes there'll be a word of the day. Like a couple days ago was bareru, bareta, to be found out, to leak, to have discovered something. But no, I don't do Instagram video because I don't want to be a Japanese learning or English learning content creator. If you learn English or Japanese through watching me, that's great, that's awesome. But I think like diving straight into, because again too, like I am an English teacher, English coach by trade, But if I do that for my content too, it feels not, I don't know, I kind of lose the passion for it versus like walking around, explaining things, talking about things. I like that a lot more. And I mean, honestly speaking, there are people who speak far better Japanese than I do that would be better teachers than I guess part of being a good teacher is like the ability to communicate ideas at multiple levels, but and there have been a lot of people who've learned some stuff from watching the streams. And I imagine when we go to Shikoku, there'll be a lot of learning that I'll be doing too, because there'll be different dialects, different local vocabulary that I'll be learning. And that'll be fun. And we'll be seeing stuff that nobody goes to see. Some people go to the northern side of Shikoku. Almost nobody goes to the southern side. Unless you're intentionally doing, again, like a Hachiju Hakusho, like the 88 temples or whatever, or you're doing like a perimeter walk of Shikoku. Doesn't it use ocha kanji with another to say coffee? No, but I mean, if you're talking about kisa, like a kisa is a coffee house, kisaten. But coffee itself is kohi. It's a little bit different. Walk all over Japan, no exact place to stay, just adventuring. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult. Like again, I highly, I don't know, I think that I go back and forth on this because I want people to have a similar adventure, but it's also a different, so here's what you're talking about. Like this, kisa versus actually, we might not even know what because normally we see kohi like this, but there's another, let me see if I can find the, this is the actual kanji. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Maxwell. So, but originally, I mean, especially in most places in Tokyo, and especially on the menu, you'll normally see the katakana, kohi. But in the Inaka and like some local place, like Asakusa, for example, you see it a lot because that's kind of an older shitamachi downtown area. So you'll see the actual kohi, the kanji for it a little bit more often. All right. I think we can either end stream now or we can go home and chat a little bit from home. Let's see what time it is. 4 o'clock. I guess it was translated. I want to translate to English. Kisaten is a coffee house, but it's very uncommon to use that for coffee, I think. Like coffee itself. I guess we can probably go to BRB mode and chat for a little bit at home. That's what we'll do. Spend another little bit chatting. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes. 50, I don't know, rain, I might run, but yeah, we'll BRB. See you all at the home studio. I just remember, yeah, that's okay. No problem at all. I mean, that happens. Like that, even I, like the other day someone came in and I was kind of half looking at my phone and I misread ume for Ichigo, and then it was like, I was like, I don't know. And I was, yeah, Tsuyu, that makes sense. But I also think that person's kind of a troll. So I don't know, it's hard. That specific person. Anyway, all right, BRB, we're gonna be back. So, see you in a little bit. Enjoy, we'll do Dave and I today.
If I waited too much longer, I mean, it would get much more difficult to even have towns to talk to people.
It would be a different kind of
it would
trip,
be
yes.
walking through ghost towns.
Yep.
And it wouldn't be me hopefully talking to people about their town.
Okay, well, maybe this is part of the hook to hang this hat on of this trip. It's I can't over dramatize this, but maybe this is the last chance at certain parts of this rural Japan before they are totally depopulated to zero. Now that might put more of a negative mood to this trip than you want. Here we are day after day after day, we're looking at wind blowing the weeds, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't think you would want to do that as a theme for your trip, but it will absolutely be a recurring motif in this trip. There were 50 people living in this town 10 years ago, and now there's nobody there, you know, so.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I mean, especially throughout the mountains of Shizuoka. Little, 50 house towns, but you walk through them and you go.
And we understand why.
Yeah.
If you were there, you would not want to live there if you were 18 years old, of course not.
I mean, even, I can't imagine, that's another thing, the people who do live there are usually significantly older, and I walked the only road to that city, and there's not even a conveni for 10 kilometers. I mean, I don't know how.
This is modern Japan.
Yeah. Out of, so you've done a lot of traveling. Well, where in Japan is most memorable?
I actually haven't done
Well,
much traveling at all,
you've
really.
traveled some with
I said before,
but-
yeah, well, that's just one one. The 3 months we came here when I was still working at a music store, I took a 3-month leave of absence after developing a computer system. And we traveled Tohoku and back. The second time we went to the Key Hanto area and back. But since I moved here, we hit the ground running in 1986, opened the English school. I haven't actually.
Is there any place you would like to go that particularly tickles your fancy?
No, I'm just tomorrow morning I want to be here and
I understand.
doing my job. You know, never been to Hiroshima, haven't been past Himeji. I'm not an itch. You know, I've emigrated twice, but it might be a paradoxical thing to say. I'm a double immigrant, whichever way you want to look at it. But no, I'm a homebody, I guess.
One thing I want to, and this is a shift from what we've been talking about a little bit, but obviously you mentioned earlier that you are growing, MoConCon's growing, but also, I mean, you're very large on Twitch, very large on YouTube. Considering that it's not something
a large niche, okay.
Yes,
fair.
and
We're not Mr. Beast here. We have
but I mean, you have amassed again a pretty large following. Considering at the basis it was educational woodblock prints, talking about woodblock prints. You have become a content creator. Is there any in the future, do you want to try any other forms of more radio show, or not necessarily different, but is there ever a day where you do more?
Get to the point.
Yes. Is there ever a day where you
Sorry, guys.
do more like a radio
This is
show?
informal enough to be like this.
No.
So where am I going to take this, and what more can I do with this?
Is
you
there
know?
something you want to, or do you want to keep it?
Yes and no,
very-
yes and no, yes and no. I know social media. There's all these different things, new frameworks and stuff pops up all the time. I can say some of this now, things I've learned now that I didn't know back at the beginning. We have chosen now, for example, where YouTube is very important to us. Twitch has become very important to us. Facebook is irrelevant to us. I don't do X, Twitter. I've never opened an account. Why not? Because, for example, the Twitter thing, that's a good example as opposed to YouTube. Twitter is cool for being smart and, hey, look at me, wasn't that cool? And the thing you say is gone. The thing I made and put on YouTube, I get emails in any given day. People have seen a video that I put up there 10 years ago, and they're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And they know it's 10 years old. They're not fooled by this. But the point being, it's a long form, and I didn't realize it, but the things I've put up there are actually valuable things to some people that will be valuable on an ongoing basis into a future that I cannot actually conceive of. Whereas the short form social media that we see, the instant, the thumb scrolling up the thing, is irrelevant. It's ephemeral and it's gone, and it's good. I'm a quick wit, so I could be really good on Twitter. I can smart ass comments, and I can come back and I could be there. But I don't want to be there. That's not the persona that I want to put out.
This is one thing I think you and I have discussed before. You asked me at a certain point, is when I did the interview for the Tokaido, you said, do you want to do content creation full time? Is that your goal with things? And I remember at the time I was like, well, I don't know, it's like winning the lottery. But we talk about short form.
Well, you mean
content.
making a living doing
Making
it,
a living doing
not
it.
having to have a job on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Doing it full time. I mean, and I remember I was like, well, it's like winning the lottery, and you said, well, no, it's a legitimate thing. Do you want to do that? And I kind of ho-hummed, but it is, I think, for a lot of people, you are absolutely correct. I think the long form is also what I want to do, but I think nowadays the competition is so fierce that I feel for me, or for people less established than yourself, you almost have to be on the Instagrams or the TikTok. Do you feel that that's...
Okay, just a minute. Let's way to roll this back a minute.
Yeah.
You see me as a person that's sort of successful in social media at the moment, but just YouTube or whatever, we've got the followers, you mentioned this. I didn't come here to do social media. There's a content that happens. It's totally organic. We have a content that wasn't designed for social media. We make beautiful wood art prints.
Of course.
And I don't want to use this word lucky, because the things that I have in my life, I don't think it's come to me from luck, whatever, blah, blah. But it is lucky that the thing that is the core thing that we do is also of interest to a bunch of other people. And it does match well that when you put it on social media in a presentable way, it does click out there. I didn't design social media. I didn't. When YouTube first started up, when I first read about them, you got these two boys, like that's gonna fly, And if I'd have had a chance to invest in it, I would have put my money 180 degrees anywhere else, because I didn't get it. And I think those two boys also didn't get it, but it was throw the past at the wall, So no. So if we are good at social media now, it's because we have rock solid, wonderful, beautiful, incredibly interesting organic content. Then the conversation we must have had a while ago, can you do this on social media? I hope what I said to you was, Jason, what's it going to be about? What's the content? Yeah. If you're thinking, I want to be the YouTube star, I had this conversation last month. I was in Canada visiting my family. I got to be careful what I say for somebody's privacy, because I had a difficult conversation with one of my grandsons. He's a teenager. Two of my grandsons, the older one, he's got his career plan worked out. I don't want to talk too much about what he's doing. He's got his career plan worked out. The second younger one doesn't, but it's okay. He's not worried about this, because he's going to be on social media. He's going to be an influencer, and he's going to have millions of followers, and he's going to have buckets of money. And okay, when I asked him, what's it going to be about? Didn't know.
That's so because people ask me recently. Some of my clients, they say, "Hey, let there be light."
And Duran Duran? I didn't even cue that up, chat. That's just the music gods want me to listen to Duran Duran. Conflict between interrupting cat cuddles and bladder. The sooner you relieve your bladder, the sooner you get back to cat cuddles. Oh, they're behind. OKC. OKC going to win the entire championship this year? Let's see. I haven't checked. When Eric was here, we talked about it quite a bit. Let's see, OKC Thunder. Standings. I've lost a couple more. Dang, rip. Still, 67-14 is pretty good. What is the best NBA record? 73-9. Golden State Warriors. The Chicago Bulls 72-10. That's pretty good. How'd you get your Japanese passport? I don't have a Japanese passport. I have a visa, a work visa. The only way you get a Japanese passport is by giving up your home country's passport. Yeah. And I don't think I'll ever give up. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the U.S. right now, but to give up the U.S. passport is something I'm not keen on doing right now. I mean, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, who knows? I have no idea what the future holds, but it's very unlikely that I give up. Unless Japan gets significantly better at recognizing minority issues, which I'm going to say probably not going to happen, that there's no benefit to having a Japanese passport for me. Now, again, if all of this trade stuff happens and then the U.S. passport gets significantly weaker, and then that's a whole thing. But ultimately, like, I do have family in the U.S., and being able to come and go to the U.S. freely is something that I don't go back very often. I only go back. I've been back 4 times in 9 years. When did I go back? 2019. 2019, 2020. Yeah, I've only been back 3 or 4 times. Streaming isn't no, not at all. Streaming is not my main. Streaming is a hobby. I do this for fun. Not at all. No. Can you get a work visa for streaming? You might be able to get something like that, but no. Streaming, I make like a couple $100 a month. When I do big projects, I make a little bit more money because I'm streaming a lot more. But no, like when I was doing my big walk, I still work full time. I work remotely. I work from home or from a laptop. And so even during the big walk, I was working 30 to 40 hours a week most weeks, and plus walking, plus streaming. I mean, walking and streaming were at the same time. But I mean, yeah, like whenever, like here, let's go to Twitch real quick and see. What are the easiest jobs to get there that will get you a work visa? It depends on what country you're from. Depends on if you have a university degree, teaching English is a pretty easy way to get it. If you don't have a degree, then it becomes significantly more difficult coming from the West. It's not a company thing. It's
it's not a company thing, it's a immigration thing. Immigration really wants you to have a visa. Game design. I mean, again, the easiest jobs are going to be teaching English adjacent, English related. A lot of people don't like that, but it is a way to get in the door. I still like teaching English. I still like what I do. I've kind of gone past. I'm not teaching from a book or anything. I'm helping people like move to international companies. I'm helping with job interviews and prep and relocation and things like that. So, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like in April, teacher's degree? No, you just need a degree. You just need a 4-year degree. It has to be a 4-year degree, no associates or anything like that. You have to have a full 4-year degree for most places to want to help you out. And again, your visa isn't sponsored, but your COE is, your certificate of eligibility. And that usually requires a company to get that initial thing. So for me, for example, I had a company that helped me get the initial COE, but then when I reapplied for my visa 4 years ago, I reapplied as like a Kojin Jigosha, like a sole proprietor. And because I had work contracts like lined up, I was able to show like I'm in here, I'm paying my taxes, I'm paying my pension, I'm paying my whatever, and going from there. Yeah. So initially you will have to probably get some help from a company, but a fair amount of them are willing to help. But it just depends. I mean, go look at jobs in Japan, go look at Gaijin Pot, go look at even like Indeed and stuff like that. We'll have some companies that are willing to help with that process. And then other companies aren't interested in doing that at all because it's too high risk. Like a lot of people bounce their first year or two. So a company doesn't want to like put in the effort and the resources for someone to just leave. That is correct. I do need to follow up what Voxwell said. That is 100%. Luckily I have the kind of the catch-all visa. Not as good as some of the other ones, but I have a pretty good visa. And so there's a ton of things that fall under that. And before I started streaming, I talked to a Gyosei Shoshi, which is like an immigration lawyer. And I was like, hey, if I do this streaming thing and I make a few bucks, like, is that okay? Like, am I going to get penalized or anything? And after a long kind of back and forth, because streaming and YouTube is not quite at the time. I mean, now it's maybe going to change, but at the time it was not seen as like a job in things. So the international services has a ton of things, including like tour guides or again, it even says international services, or like there's a lot of gray area type jobs under that. So whenever I talk to my accountant, whenever I talk to my immigration lawyer, like my immigration lawyer friend, I was like, is this okay? Are we good? And they said, you should be fine. So my game design degree is a Bachelor's of Science from Full Sail University. I don't know if it's counted as a 4-year though. It has 4 sections, but it was massed into 2 years if I remember correctly. I would double check and see. If it's a bachelor, if it truly is a bachelor's of whatever, I would guess. But yeah, immigration is going to check the school's accreditation. So that's above me. Like it's not something I could, I have access to. They're going to see, is this a 4-year? They're going to, someone's going to Google it or someone's going to check it out, and then it'll go from there. So I brought my transcripts whenever I went to college, and it showed that I had taken 120 course hours of college. So even though I like finished in 3.5 years, it's a 4-year degree. Like I had my full transcripts and I brought those over. Because whenever I came over, I didn't have a job. I didn't know if I was going to stay in Japan. I'd heard so many like horror stories of this company, blah, 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 that company, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And so I was really hesitant to sign a contract in the U.S., come to Japan, and then go from there. So I kind of did think the way I did it, I do not normally recommend most people. I did things a lot more difficult, I would say. And it has worked out long term, but that's also because I've made it work long term. I know a lot of people who came with like proper, like way more proper channels than I did. I still followed all the rules. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone to like twist my words. I followed all the rules. I didn't start work until I had a visa. Couldn't get an apartment until I got a visa. Couldn't get anything until I got a visa. So I followed all those things. But coming here on a tourist visa and then, requesting companies to help me change that over, not ideal. Not ideal. And it's not something that most companies typically want to do. It does happen, but I don't recommend it. It's not. I'm going to make a video about it, and it's going to be kind of clickbaity. I came to Japan with nothing, and that's true, but I don't recommend that for most people. I was trying to metaphorically run away from my home situation. I was kind of tired of a lot of things, and I had been passed over for a job that I was kind of promised, and then it didn't happen, and then I was kind of like depressed about that. Life stuff, girl stuff was happening, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I want to go somewhere where nobody knows who I am. And like I said, the original goal was to work my way through to Thailand. Thailand had cheaper accommodation. I could do online poker. I could teach English. I could do scuba diving. That was kind of like the really like pipe dream situation. And then I realized I don't have any money to get to Thailand. So I applied for some jobs here, and it worked out. And yeah, been here since. So I was never opposed to coming to Japan. It just it never was like, oh, I have to do this thing. But no, streaming is not my main job. Maybe one day, but it's too inconsistent to or it's not inconsistent. A couple of different things happen there. Streaming is great. I love streaming, but it's discoverability is hard. Making sure you get, like, for me to go quote unquote full time, I would need to average like 250 to 300 concurrent viewers consistently, and that's not. It is something that could maybe happen by the end of the year if a lot of stuff goes well, but those are things that are kind of somewhat outside of my control. Sorry, I got on a long yap fest there. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have anything at all? We're gonna look through some shorts. We're gonna work on these for the time being. Left window capture. So we're looking for day 91. Step one is finding a company to sponsor, since I said yeah. And then again, once you've gotten the initial sponsorship, you can re-up. I have a here, let me see if I can find it. I have a bookmark. Let me see if I can find it. It's a Reddit page. Let me see if I can find it. Is it gone? Huh. I thought I saved it. I guess not. Or maybe it deleted. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this is, hold on, this is what, once you get it, here, let's do this. This is tons of good information, and I need to go through and I need to make sure that I have this. Because I've been doing, like my tax accountant has been, let's quickly scroll. Because I've been filing the blue tax return for last year, and then I did white before that. But anyway, there are ways to do stuff, but initially getting that initial foot in the door, you will probably need a company to help you, unless your Japanese is top notch and you can prove that you have X number of Japanese clients paying you X number. It's not that much different. Yeah, that's the thing. It's. I mean, I know the U.S. is still somewhat difficult, just because. I mean, now I guess you can pay your way, but. You can pay your way into Japan too. Yeah, it's yes, of course, but. So, like, for me, I need to double check. I remember filling this form out a long time ago, but I need to double check that it's been. You can? How? Be rich? At a minimum, okay. If you have, like, they have what's called the business manager visa, and it's the thing is you do have to have like an actual visa, or you have to have an actual business plan, and they just misunderstand. It's one of the requirements. You need at least 5 million yen, but you also need all these other things. Like, and initially they might give you a 1 year, 3 year plan, and then you need to go like, do you have an actual office? What's, how much business are you doing? What kind of administration work are you doing? You have to have remuneration equal to or higher than that of a Japanese person, which this is kind of a bullshit. This is kind of a bullshit responsibility. Like, it should be equal. Equal, maybe. Higher. Not even equal. I don't know. It should be the same. But that's kind of a bullshit one, because most companies are going to pay foreign people less. That's just how that works. And you have to go through it. So if you have all of these things, you need 5 million liquid, I think. Plus, if you need this, like if you're talking about a place of business, unless you're using a share office, which most people use share offices or like very small offices like Rob does, it's a lot more complicated. What is this one? Oh, I haven't even seen this one. Interesting. Oh no, I want the same thing. I just want Nihongo. 冬総向けビザ. This isn't, I mean, honestly though, this is less money than I thought it was going to be. The short-term visa, long stays, over 6 months. Yeah, that's what I thought. Under 90 days, you're exempt from visas. It's not important to have a visa if it's under 90 days. Within 90 days. From Indonesia or Thai. Brunei. Ton of Beikoku. That's us. That's us, baby. Country of rice. I'm surprised they have Beikoku instead of USA or America. Yeah, this is the important part. You got to get the certificate of eligibility. Yeah, this is all garbage. Google Translate is not. Anyway, be rich basically. Yeah, I mean there are. But again, too, it's for the most of the time it's. So what was this guy? I need to double check this and see if I have if I can go get that. I want to even get Japanese passport. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to think twice about that. I mean, really, like, I know people are really I know people are really disappointed in the U.S. and stuff that's going on right now, but you will always be an outsider in Japan. Like, it doesn't matter. Even if you have kids that are half Japanese, like, unless you look Japanese and speak native level Japanese, you will never be accepted. And, like, it hurts to say that sometimes because, like, I've been here 9 years. Next year I'll apply for PR. No, you can get citizenship before that. It's funny. They're easier to give citizenship away than PR, but with citizenship, it's a much more like you cannot go back. Like you give up your U.S. thing and you are no longer a citizen. And also, U.S. can say no. They can we're not gonna accept your request because it seems. And Japan too. Japan might say your request seems short-sighted. All I've ever heard was 10. Now, you can do it. So, no. For permanent residents, average is 10. If you have the highly skilled professionals 1 or 2 visa, or if you have the business manager visa and you're, like, crushing it, you have, like, tons of money coming in, there are certain ways to fast-track your PR. I've heard of stories of people getting it in, like, 3 years, 5 years. Marriage, if you get married, you can do... I think it's 3 or 5 years of marriage, spousal visas, and then you can apply for PR. Some people do that. But for me, like, I'm so close. Even if I got married today and next year I apply for PR, it still would look better if I just went the normal route of getting another work visa and then doing that. Because then they'll be like, why'd you get married your 9th year? And it's like, well, I've been in a relationship for 5. But they, like, on paper, they'll be like, this is suspicious. Someone from a much weaker passport, I'll give up my passport for Japan if I have the chance. Again, I highly recommend, like, yes, you get a passport that's Japanese, but now you are in a country that doesn't really want you here. Like, that's the reality. Again, I love living in Japan. I'll probably be here until I die, but it's not like it's a very heavy decision. It's a super heavy. There's a reason that very, very few people, especially from Western countries, do it. I do understand there are some people who come from China, Thailand, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, who eventually get a passport, but coming from the West, like there's it's all points based. 80 plus you can after 1 year, 70, 80. Yes, exactly. Voxbell is right. Let's see if I can. System in Japan. There's yeah, it is points based. Let me see if I can. Can I make this bigger? Ooh, I can. Nice. Okay. So a holder of a degree, professional career. So like this, for example, like here, let's take a, can I take a screenshot? Oh, here, let's make this smaller. I take a screenshot and then I take it to the other thing. Okay. What's up with it? I would say that I'll vouch for you, but it might not help. Haha, Tarhan will agree. My reason is because once I lose my base, I have nowhere to go anyways. Plus, no one is no different now. I have no one here in the U.S. that I know more than... I understand what you're saying. Like, I get, like, being lonely and stuff, but, like, moving to a country that you... I don't know, like, you will never be accepted here. Even if you speak fluent Japanese. Unless you look Japanese, act Japanese, speak Japanese, it's like... I don't know. I highly encourage people to do a lot more research before they do that types of thing. That's my only recommendation. It's not, Japan is a great place, but it can also be incredibly lonely, like more lonely than your home country, and you'll be more isolated. Yeah. So again, like, please, if you want to come to Japan, please do it. But it is not sunshine and rainbows when you're talking about life, like living here, lifetime. It's very, very difficult. Okay, so for even me, let's check this out. Bachelor's degree or equivalent. Okay, so I got 10 points there. Work experience related to the business. I could probably argue 20 points. I could probably argue 10 years or more. I've been in Japan 9 years, but there's a couple of... Anyway, I'm 30 to 34 now, so I would need to probably make... Honestly, I would need to aim for 6 to 7. Dude, they don't even give you points if it's 4 to 5 million yen. Yikes. Okay, 6 to 7 million yen. Age of filing. I need to do this before I turn 35. 10 points. Age doesn't matter. Dang, they changed it up. I guess I would maybe need to consider getting into N1. Hold on. 10, 20, 50, 60. So I would need to... Hold on. There's another one for living in Japan. You get X number of years for living in Japan. Unless this has changed. $80 points. Interesting. Hold on. Oh, no. This is the highly skilled professionals. Why is this? All other. Okay, so I need to clear 70 points unless I hit the 10-year mark. Dang, I wonder if I had studied a little bit more and I had applied on a high income year, I could have already been PR. That's okay. That's fine. I don't need that stuff to be happy. Just somewhere to enjoy existing is fine. This place is so boring to me. I never cared for living in America since I was about 10. Japan is the only place. But have you lived in Japan, though? That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people have this idea, this very romanticized idea about Japan, and it's like, if you don't speak fluent Japanese, living in Japan, even enjoy existing in Japan, is much more difficult than, like, imagine you have to go to the dentist. And then you go there and you go, oh, yeah, I don't speak Japanese, and you're in the countryside and no, like, dentist out there speaks Japanese or something. I mean, like, I understand, like, again, Japan is a cool place, but if you've never, like, lived here for more than a couple years or, like, even visited more than a couple months, and then you're like, I gotta move there. It's a very different, like, over time, even me, like, when I first came here, what really inspired me to stay here versus what inspires me to stay here now are very different things, because over time, your focus on, like, again, lots of things change over time. And, you know, can you still roll with those punches? So... So really, I need to up my salary as much as possible in order to get it earlier. What I should have done is I should have tried to study for N1 sooner, and then I should have done it when I was under 29. And I think I would have been... Because there was a couple years when I was under 29, I was making 7 to 8 million yen. But then it would have been lower experience. I don't know, I guess it's a trade-off. Anyway. You gotta pump those numbers up. I mean, I guess if I have just one sicko mode year where I make like 10 million yen. It sucks that you get penalized for being... I mean, okay, so I'm 32 now, so it means I have to file next year. If I wait until after 35, then... well, hold on. What does AI say? This is some dog shit. This is dumb. I really don't like this. Having a guarantor is something that I get really, really annoyed by.
This is crazy. Going to language school would be a great choice. Yes, going to language school is great. That's a good, good. But again, schooling as well is a little bit different than once you get a job. Okay, hold on. Interesting. The applicant must have at least a 3-year visa at the time of application. Dude, that sucks. That's crazy. That's actually wild. One of the sticking points for PR apps, that's actually bananas. Because that's something that you don't really have you don't really have a say in the matter. Hold on, how much? How much was my tax last year? What was my... who do I need to talk to? Let me see. I think it's this one. Interesting. Interesting. We're also learning Japanese. Voxbo lives in Japan. Voxbo's been here for a little while. Interesting. I mean, I have sufficient assets, I think. I've heard it's 1,000,000 yen. I've heard 1,000,000 yen is sufficient assets. Like 1,000,000 yen liquid. Gonna have to finally file at FBAR? Not yet. Not yet. The yen would have to get a lot stronger for that to happen. I've always kept enough in... The yen would have to get significantly stronger. I need 1.43 million yen in my bank account before I file an FBAR. Unless... Well, hold on. Let's check. Yeah. 1.435 million yen. So, not quite there yet. Almost. I did get worried. Actually, I might technically have to because I got my tax payment back and a couple students paid me on the same day. So I might have to file my FBAR for like 2 days. Because by the time I realized what had happened, I was like, oh. Because I thought I haven't checked the exchange rate in like a month. So like... I was used to seeing it at like 155, and I was like, oh, I'll never have more than 1.5. Like, it'll never get there without me noticing it. And then it's like, oh, I hit 1.5 exactly last week. And then I checked the conversion rate, and it's like 143, and I was like, oh, shit. But then like that same day, that same day I like deducted out. So it's like... Anyway. It's fine. I mean, I'll just tell my accountant next year, like, hey, for these 3 days I had more. The annual. Oh, then I'm fine. Cool. We're good. we're completely fine. I'm under that. I'm under 1.51. It was exactly 1.500, like, yeah. It's like 1,507,000. Yeah. And I'm about to have to pay my US accountant and my Japanese accountant, and I'm taking a trip. So, like, we'll be, and I have PayPal stuff too. Well, interesting. Well, here's the thing, man. It's annoying. Because of my self-sponsored status, previously when I had employers, I need to, this week or next week, I need to make sure that I have my freelance situation set up 100%. I need to go talk to my accountant. For whatever reason. I did that a couple years ago. I told a place, because a couple years ago I had, like, cash and I had money in the bank because I was just chucking cash away for a long time. And I remember when I was looking at places to, like, get an apartment, I was like, I'll pay you a year rent up front if you let me stay here. And they were like, we don't want to do that. And I was like, okay. Because they're like, we don't know about renting to foreigners. And I was like, I'll pay you up front. Like, I'll pay you a year up front. Like, right now. Like, I'll go get, like, I have cash right now for you. And they're like, or I can wire, I forget what I said. I was like, I'll wire it, whatever. Like, you can have cash today. You can get it, like, today or tomorrow. And they're like, I wanted to ask you whether you're a fan of the Dave Ramsey show. I personally am not. I don't like Mr. Ramsey because he's, like, really anti-credit, and he's also, that probably scared them. No, on my whenever I was applying for places, at the time I was making like 7-8 million yen a year consistently. So I was like, I can pay for this, like, you know. Anyway, no, I don't like Dave Ramsey because I think that he has some really weird takes that I'm not a huge fan of. Like, no credit cards. It's fine. Like, his advice is only good if you are so screwed that you need to, like, completely re-identify your life. But some of his things too, he said something about he got really, and if you're religious, if whoever is religious, that's fine, but he got really weird on, like, he's like, oh yeah, I own like 10 houses, and they're like, don't you think that's a little, he's like, I'm watching them for God, you know, I'm just God's mouthpiece or whatever. And I was like, I'm simplifying what he said, but it was something along those lines, and I was like, nah, that's not, nah, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't know, hoarding earthly assets, if you really, really, really believe in Christianity, is kind of contradictory to me. But I don't know. Who am I but a lonely Martian? Okay. Okay, I'm a Christian. I hate people like that. They say for it's God should not speak for him if it's for selfish things. Yeah, I grew up Southern Baptist. I grew up going to church like 3 times a week, if not more. And as I got older, I realized that, and again, it's not all churches, but there are some people in churches, whether it's the deacons or the pastors or the youth pastors or the college whoever it is, someone is spending church money on things that don't need to be spent on. And, it kind of runs counterintuitive to my understanding of religion, which is, it runs counter to that. So, yeah. Anyway. Today's been fun though. Today's been a good stream. We'll be live tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's check the weather real quick. Those fakes are the type that go God told me to kill them. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. Yeah, I grew up. Same with my mom. When my mom got divorced, and then she started dating afterwards, the guy she started dating was, went to the First Baptist Church. Went to First Baptist Church, from the time I was in 2nd, 3rd grade up until the time I was about 17, 18. And then I quit cold turkey, and people were so confused. They're like, "Why did you quit?" It's like, have you looked in the mirror lately? That's why I quit. Anyway. It's also when I realized that, I don't know, there are good people and bad people in pretty much every aspect of life. And just because you go to church does not make you a good person. And just because you don't go to church doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Just like that. Okay, weather's looking pretty good tomorrow. So we're going to try to 92% humidity. That's no good. 92% humidity is no good. Anyway, but it's cool. It's cool in the morning. Like I said, this week we're trying to get some steps in. I need to make sure all my business stuff is sorted out, so then next year when I apply for another visa that it's fine. I guess I need to crush it this year. I guess I need to make like 8 million yen this year to pad my stats. Sorry. Anyway, we're gonna raid into. I think we're gonna raid into Katie and Eric. Religion should never be forced. Those who do it are not right. Christian isn't made with force. It's made through one-on-one choices and mistakes. Yes. That is, well, here's another thing, too, that I guess hold on. We're not going to raid out. We'll wait until the next commercial break. Time to sign on to that correcting gig after all. Well, luckily I get to do more than just correcting. The thing that I think... I saw a really funny comment the other day, and again, we're not... But like, if you ever went to church camp, so in Oklahoma, there's a church camp called Falls Creek. And what you do is every week for 12 weeks, they have 5,000 students across Oklahoma. Every week, it's another 5,000. Some people go twice or whatever, but 4,000 to 5,000 high school, late middle school, and then high school students go to Falls Creek. And you are sitting there, and it's, you feel all this group energy, and you feel all this stuff going on. And people are like, wow, it's emotional. I feel the power of God. And some people might feel the power of God. That's fine. That's everyone's individual thing. But then I'm in a group and they're like, yeah, I went to a concert and I had the same feeling. And it's like, yeah, that's just kind of when you're in a group of X number of people and you all feel the same way, you're going to have those kind of overwhelming feelings. For some of the raunchiest places, I missed out. I was a good kid. I didn't kiss a girl until I was 18 or 19 years old. I take that back. I was 18. It was the summer of 18 after I turned 18. I was working on the road, and anyway, I missed all that. I missed all of that. All of the like I heard stories about it and I was like, you guys are sinful and, you know, whatever. But yeah. But I am thankful. I mean, like, as long as it made me happy, I am very proud to say I've lived my life almost exactly how I would have chosen it. I don't have as much money. I'm kidding. I'm joking. No, I'm very fortunate that I've lived my life, my entire life, even when I was a kid. The one thing I regret in high school is I wish I didn't work so much. I was working like 35, 40 hours a week. I missed out a lot of like high school experiences because of that. But it kind of really refined who I am as an individual and allowed me to be who I am today. Like hardworking and pretty like focused and relatively serious. I joke around a lot, but you know, I like to think I'm a pretty good guy and not perfect by any means. You know, everyone has their moments, but I think because of those really tough times and like, I don't want to say adverse times, but you know, growing up that way and then finding out what it is that I want to do in a way that is not negative to other people in any capacity. I'm very, very proud of myself. I know that sounds so like, look at me, but like, no, it is something because it's hard. It's hard to stay true to oneself in a variety of situations. Yeah. You start off a disciplined life early. Yeah, that's why I'm excited to see. That's why I'm excited to see whenever I finally get serious about stuff now, how things go. Also spoiled badly too. You can't have both. I wasn't spoiled at all. I was, and that's why I mean, like, if it's they're very much opposite sides. I think I don't think you can be spoiled and disciplined. I think it's you can have routine, but discipline comes from, like, in my opinion. Again, I'm not. Perhaps there's a world where both can exist, but in my growing up, they were quite opposite. And my mother was very, very strict. So, I like this quote: "We don't rise to the level of our expectation; we fall to the level of training. You having worked through means that you have had yes, but I don't care if others are." As long as they're trying to, if they need it for self-therapy, it makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, no, that's one thing that I think, it's always funny, like in college and then after college and even coming over here, like, luckily in interviews, I got very fortunate where like age was one of the last questions asked, even at the previous company I was working at. After it, they're like, by the way, how old are you? And I'm like, it's on my resume, lady. Like, just look at it. Anyway. And so I was saying, they're like, wow, you like act really old. I'm like, yeah, that's the trauma. No, I was like, no, yeah, I've been working since I was like, 14. I mean, I've been doing jobs before that, but I was consistently working from like 14, 15 onward. So I grew up in a woodland farm lifestyle, all the work and none of the pay. I had physically strong and disciplined out of it, so I guess that's the pay. It can happen. Like I said, I went out. Luckily, like Weatherford was big enough. It wasn't super country. I mean, it's pretty countryside, but I didn't have to like live on a farm, but I was able to like offer my services to farmers or, like one of the guys I worked for was an HVAC guy and he had a little farm So I would like dig trenches and build fence, and then when I was done with that, he's like, all right, you can cut grass. And when I was done with that, he's like, you want to cut open some fridges and stuff, and then, like cut out the copper and the aluminum and stuff and sell it. And I was like, I'm 13 years old. And he's like, my son's 14. You guys just wear masks and gloves. And we're like sawzawing stuff. And I was like, I don't know about that. I chose to stick with what I sold enough for scrapping, yeah. But I was also given what I wanted, only was whooped maybe 6 times. No. Physical abuse does not mean disciplined. We need to, if you were constantly given stuff, discipline for me is like waking up every morning at 6 a.m. because you have work at 6:30 or whatever. Discipline is like you making your own choices. And then even you said now work disciplined? No. Then that's not discipline. Like discipline is not physical abuse or like verbal abuse. Like that's not, like I got whooped as a kid, but I also didn't do anything bad. I got whooped for like dumb stuff. Like I did this stuff, but I would like backtalk. It's like, oh, you get whooped for backtalk. And it's like, that's not, I mean, I'm 12 years old. Yeah, I'm going to backtalk like, and as I got older, it was like, this is inefficient. We should do it this way. And discipline is doing something without the threat of penalty. Yeah. Discipline is having routine because you choose to have routine. Like when I first started, we'll snooze ads and we'll get out of here. One of the reasons I become relatively successful in Japan is because of my unorthodox work schedule. And I did that because when I first started teaching kids English, I worked 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Saturdays, it was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, that is the standard. About 3 or 4 months into my contract, I knew, okay, I don't want to do this forever. I'll do the 1 year. I was house disciplined but not work. Does that work? Discipline is discipline. Discipline is it's like integrity. You have it or you don't. That's it. Discipline is all aspects. If it's a turn off switch, turn on, turn off switch, that's not discipline. That's you don't want to get in trouble at home. If you can't, again, like if you're not doing something at work because of a penalty, that's not it. Discipline is doing the right thing or the consistent thing all the time because that's your choice to do so. Anyway, but I accepted assignments that were not normal. You know, when I started teaching at the government, it was once a week for 1 hour. Nobody else wanted it. And honestly, I shouldn't have taken that assignment either, but I knew if I took that assignment and I did well, it would level up my career. And it did. I taught once a week for a couple months, and then after that, it was like, how do I say this? After that, I was offered to do 5 days a week, and then from there, I leveled up more, and then I continued to do stuff. 1 year, 2 months, and 2 days. There's been some interesting research that some people never move beyond that level of not doing something for the sole reason of not getting in trouble. Very NPC energy. Not doing or not doing something for the sole reason of not getting in trouble. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, discipline more breaks down into routine and choice. So after I stopped teaching at the government, I started working for the previous company. And they're like, hey, we need workers from 6 a.m. to 10, 8 p.m. to midnight. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I started doing that. And I would work almost every day. Friday nights I had off. Well, actually, in the very beginning, I worked Friday nights and Saturday nights and Sunday nights. Thursday mornings were the only time I had off. I had classes all of the other times. Saturday mornings and Saturday nights I had 2 classes Saturday night, and then Sunday mornings I had no classes, but Sunday night I had 5 or 6 classes. And so I was working like every single day these weird hours. And daytime I was just doing I would go to the movie theater, I'd go for a walk. And so my success is based on a true my success was based on just myself brute forcing a very weird schedule long term. Yeah, I wasn't raised properly. It's not like I wasn't good at work, just some things I can't handle. I would break down if I'm yelled at work. to the point where my body will feel numb from crying and freaking out. That sounds like something you might want to take up with a therapist. Also, Japan doesn't really have great work culture. Just if you're planning on moving here, that is something you might want to definitely work through with a therapist if you can. Shopping cart theory. You won't get in trouble for not returning a shopping cart. It's a pretty good way to judge if someone does something based. Yeah, I always return shopping carts. Always. Like, even today, I don't think we saw it, but there was, like, umbrella covers, like, spilling out of the trash can, and I, like, picked it up and put it in there. No one else would have done that. They're like, ugh, gross, trash can. But I'm like, this is spilling out. The workers are busy. I'll just grab up and go. I didn't grab all the ones from the floor, but I did all the ones that were spilling out, scooped up, put in there. Just doing it's like integrity and discipline, I think, run very, they're not the exact same, but I think they run parallel with each other. In my opinion. Again, people can disagree, that's fine. But
I think I see it, boys. That's our end point for the day. I think I see a Seiko.
Sorry, I quickly checked Sea Dog's stream. We're not going to raid into Sea Dog. Way too many people. We'll get destroyed. But I don't do good with yelling. I want to help and do whatever I can. He was on front page. Well, he's also big. I mean, he's giant. He doesn't need front page if he doesn't. I mean, he's big enough that he doesn't need front page. But I don't do good with yelling. I want to help and do whatever I can for the job. So when yelled at, I fear I'm not doing anything right and I'm going to be fired. We'll snooze ads one more time. Well, I think probably because today's the first day, he probably did. But I didn't see Pete in the van earlier. Maybe I missed him, but all right. Yeah, we are gonna get out of here. I snoozed ads again, but I think we're gonna get out of here. Tomorrow, like I said, the goal is, so today I'm gonna try to post a lot more shorts, and then please go check that out. Let's see, socials. YouTube. We're not gonna do. Maybe is that talking? Yeah, it was nice, Trangelbait. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Tomorrow, like I said, hopefully, I'm outside in the morning. We're gonna drop you off at Katie and Eric's, I think. Yeah. Or actually, hold on. I think Ari Moon Tado is on. She's in Taiwan. Does she have a good signal? I tried to raid in her the other day, but it looked like she was having trouble. Flurkin, good to see you. Looks like it's... Okay. Yeah, we're just going to go to Katie and Eric. All right. Love everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Katie and... We'll see everybody tomorrow. If you want to, please, like I said, socials are up there. Discord's here. I do check messages on Discord. I do check my Instagrams. I may not always reply, but I do see it. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. Take care, drink some water, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.